Hey, this is Read Write Exercise, and today we're going to look at how to remove an item by value from an array. So basically, if I say that I want to remove, let's say 4 from the array, and I basically want to just say like remove, or it would be something like my array dot remove, and then we would pass just the value here. And it would do that. So let's take a look at a couple different ways of how we do that. The quickest way to do that, first off, would be to do delete. So we would do like delete my array, and then it would be whatever the index of that item is. So let's say my item index. And in order to get that, we would do my item index equals my array index of, and then our item in this case would be 4. Okay, so let's log out what this index is going to be, my item index. And then we'll drop in a couple other logs just so we can see what's happening here. We can log my array. We should know what's happening there, and then we can log it after the deletion happens. So we should see my item is 4, I guess, if we want to call it that. I can actually clean it up a little bit and call it my item, and then make this one my item. Okay. So we're declaring my item here, then we're checking the index of it, and then we'll just log that out. We'll log out the array, which will be this. And then we're going to delete the item at that index, and then we'll log out the array again. And we'll see what happens here. It does remove it, and there's kind of a drawback of what we're doing here. So let's see what folder we're in. Jump into exercises, and then I think it's JavaScript remove item, and then we'll run this. Okay, so we see first find the index, which is 2, right? And then we have this full array, and then what happens is it removes the item. It basically sets it as undefined, and it leaves it there. So if we were to log the length of this, it would still log it as 5. So that is a quick way to do it, but it still leaves an empty space there, as you can see. So it basically sets it to undefined. So really a nicer way to do this. One other way to do it would be with splice. And basically what we'll do here is we'll do myArray.splice, which just kind of chops the array or removes an item or several items in place. And so we're gonna start, like you can see right here, it takes the start index and then the delete count. So we just want to delete one item. And so we'll just do splice at my item index and then just remove 1. And so when we do this one, now it does not have this empty item. It just has this 10, 2, 15, 20. So the item that we wanted to remove is now removed. So that's a pretty quick way to do it. One other way that we can do this is using the array method filter. And this is maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit more complex. It just kind of depends on preference, but it also allows you to get more advanced. If you don't just have an array of integers or strings, like maybe you have objects, then you can kind of play around with this from here. So let's keep what we've got, and then what we'll do is we'll make a new array. The other thing about this method is that it leaves your original array intact, and so you're making this new array, which is kind of nice if you want to do a more functional approach or use immutable variables here. So we'll do my array filter, and we actually don't need this my item index here in this case. So we'll filter, and then what we'll do is return the item if, and we want this item here. We want if item does not equal, let's call it removal item, and rename this guy just so it makes a little more sense. Okay, so we're basically making a new array, and it's going to include every item from this original array as long as it is not equal to this removal item. So once we do this and run this, then it's going to give us, whoop, that did not work. Let's see what we've got here. Removal item, myArray.filter. Oh, and it turns out we were actually still logging myArray. So as soon as we log new array, then we run this, then it's going to log that new array that we've created. So that just also goes to show you that this is not modifying that original array in place. It's making a new array that now has that other item removed. So this is another way to remove an item. Like I said, if you had an object, or if you want to remove an item, let's say we have an object here and it has like name is my name, then we could remove an item that has this certain key as a certain value. So this method can give us more options in the future if we want to get more sophisticated. But there are 3 different methods for removing an item from an array, and hopefully that helps out. Let me know if you have any other thoughts about this or anything that you think would help me in my JavaScript programming, and we'll see you in the next video.